Mediaverse, my name is Brijesh Pandey. Calcutta's High Court sitting Judge Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay has confirmed his joining of the BJP. This comes just a day after resigning from the judiciary. He is most likely to contest the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. While Justice Gangopadhyay is not the first judge to take a plunge into the public life, his decision to join active politics has once again brought to fore the questions that should sitting judges be allowed to enter politics, or should there be a cooling off period for the same. Let's first listen into what Justice Gangopadhyay had to say. Then I'm joined by my two guests, my colleague Ashok Bagdia and also Justice S.N. Dhigra, former judge, Delhi High Court. First listen in to Justice Gangopadhyay.
Sir, are you going to contest the Lok Sabha polls? Any talks on that?
I cannot say that. It will be decided by the high authorities of BJP, the election committee of BJP.
Sir, when will you join BJP?
Maybe on 7th. Maybe on 7th in the afternoon. There is a tentative program when I'll join BJP. I said by last 7 days. From when I stopped in the adjudication of anything. I was on leave. So that I did not do it, I did not, if no adjudication comes to me. I have not done any adjudication for last 7 days. I also approached BJP also approached me.
Ashok, this particular decision which has been taken in the course of last 2-3 days, when he said that, told his intention to retire from judiciary and take an active plunge into politics. What does this speak of, a term which has been used most, the judicial propriety?
Well, you're right here. But as far as Justice Gangopadhyay is concerned, let me just put a few facts on the table for the viewers. That number one, Justice Gangopadhyay was due to retire in 5 months' time. He was due to retire on August 19, 2024. Secondly, this decision of Justice Gangopadhyay is fine. Every judge has the right to resign. And in the last few years, since 2017, there have been at least 13-14 instances where judges have resigned. But they have resigned for various reasons. Either they were transferred to other high courts, or they were not promoted as chief justices. They were unhappy with the system and submitted their resignation. But here, what we are looking at is a very rare occurrence, where a sitting judge of a high court has demitted his office or resigned to join active politics or run for a political office. Now, technically there is no bar, but the problem here is that if you are a judge of a constitutional court, maybe a high court or a Supreme Court, and if you resign and just a day after your resignation, you join a political party, this raises questions on the integrity of your orders and judgments that you have passed in the past. In this particular case, it's my personal opinion that Justice Ganguly, or rather Justice Gangopadhyay, has set a new trend of judges resigning and joining political parties. Although this is not anything new. We have had the eminent Justice Krishna Iyer, who was a minister in the Kerala government before he was elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court. And even at that point of time, there was a lot of opposition to Justice Iyer's elevation as a Supreme Court judge, because they all thought that he is going to bring a particular ideology to the Supreme Court. However, what we are looking today is a role reversal. A sitting judge joining politics, and immediately, even Justice Gangopadhyay in the last 6-7 months has had a very controversial term.
Absolutely.
So, in a way, I believe that there should be some code of conduct for the judges. There should be some cooling off period before they take up another assignment, because more often than not, there are allegations which are levelled against judges who are either retiring or resigning, that there is some quid pro quo which is got into, because when you retire, the judge on the cusp of retirement is passing orders which is generally seen to be in favor of the government, and it's generally seen, the perception is that some quid pro quo arrangement is there.
Okay. Justice Dhingra, sir, welcome to News9 Live. I would like to know from you, sir, what do you make of this? You know, Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay announcing that he is going to retire, he retires and joins Bharatiya Janata Party. Do you think it is a question mark on judicial propriety, sir?
I don't think so. You see, a person has a right to decide about his future. And while deciding his future, he may consider so many things. If he has been so closely associated with judiciary, he may have taken this decision that there need to do, I also can contribute to the nation's progress, to the nation's well-being, and if I can contribute and there is an opportunity, why should not I do so? You see, as an example of Justice Krishna Iyer was given, see, Krishna Iyer was a typical case, and he did bring his ideology into the judiciary. If you look into the judgments of Justice Krishna Iyer, you can find that they all have communist bent, and you cannot escape the ideology. Even if you don't have you see, you are not associated with the political party, you can still have an ideology. As we can see, our present Chief Justice has a different ideology. He considers that an individual is not a man or a woman. He can think himself either of it. It is his perception. So this is his ideology, which has come along with him due to his education or due to his circumstances. Every judge has ideology. You won't find a judge who is not biased by his own ideology.
But Justice Dhingra, sir, I would like to ask you one thing. You know, there has been a run-in with Trinamool Congress for a long time now. You know, where Abhijit Banerjee, who is the nephew of Mamata Banerjee, openly accusing him of bias. If you look into his conduct, you know, where he has given an interview to a local TV channel, openly professing, saying things against Trinamool Congress, and, you know, sometime later, when he joins the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the arch rival in the state of West Bengal, wouldn't it raise a question mark on all the decisions, the observations which he has made in this particular case, sir?
See, you may raise question mark, who stops you? There is another court above Gangopadhyay's court. You can go to Supreme Court, challenge the decision. If they are not on merits, you will get relief. You see, every party, I have not seen a party who doesn't raise question when the decision goes against him, whosoever gives it. You see, when I was district and session judge, see, my trial of 1984 riot cases and convicting some of the VIPs in 1984 riot cases and then sending minister into jail because they were involved in terrorist activities, raised question. They all thought that I am a Sikh lover, or my wife may be a Sikh, or my background may be of a Sikh, or I may be associated with BJP, or I may be associated with RSS. These kind of questions were not only raised, but my judgments were also, you see, assailed on these grounds.
Okay. Justice Dhingra, my colleague Ashok
Dhingra,
Bagadia.
I'm sorry, I'm interjecting you at this point in time. I agree with what you say with respect to the 1984 judgment that you have delivered. But please try to understand that there is a distinction between Justice Gangopadhyay and what you have done. If you were at that point in time seen to be openly hobnobbing with Sikhs or moving around with them, then possibly questions may have been raised and they could have been rightly raised. Here, what we are dealing with is Justice Gangopadhyay, who in the last 4 to 5 months has not just taken suo moto cognizance of various cases, but also been making random oral remarks during the court hearings, and the Supreme Court has had to step in to put him in place. I am using the term put him in place with full consciousness. I do not wish to demean him or demean the High Court, but that was a right step. And you also rightly said that if there is a angle of bias, there is another court above. But sir, please try to understand that if the first court that a petitioner goes to is not fair, objective, or the perception is that, as they say in the first rule of the conduct of judges, that justice should not just be done, but it should be seen to be done also, sir. That whole principle gets thrown out of the window.
You are all right. We are talking of Supreme Court making observation about him. I think it is the same Supreme Court which made observation in case of Nupur Sharma, openly saying that it was Nupur Sharma who was responsible for all the riots. And what was her fault? Her fault was that she brought facts in a TV debate to the notice of the other. They were true facts. And the Supreme Court judges.
Sir, then are you saying that you agree with what with Messrs. Nupur Sharma said? Do you agree?
I did not agree, rather I
but sir, then that's the point.
What I am saying is that these kind of remarks are made by judges, right, not only at High Court level, but even at Supreme Court level. What we will do with the Supreme Court judges? Will you tell them to resign? Or is there any court above Supreme Court which will, look into their remarks and reprimand them? You see, day before, on Monday, the Supreme Court reversed its own judgment, in which Supreme Court had said, taking bribe is all right for MPs and MLAs for casting vote. And the same judgment they stated, if you take bribe and do not vote in accordance with the bribe giver, then you have committed a crime. So this is what our courts are doing. Now they have corrected itself. You see, these kind of bias are there in judiciary because our judiciary selection process is totally unfair. We select judges not on the basis of merits, but on the basis of approaches, on the basis of likings. Gangopadhyay also must have been selected at some point of time because he was very close to somebody.
Sir, I'm just saying that, I get your point. I'm not denying that. See, the point is, what I'm trying to understand from you is that, you deliver a judgment, right or wrong, perceived right or wrong, and people have option to go to the apex court and seek a rectification, seek a remedy or whatever they want to. What I was trying to say is that, in the case of Justice Gangopadhyay, what is happening is that he has been openly saying something which should not have been said by a court who's listening to a particular case. He had given an interview to a local TV channel. I honestly speaking, I don't remember when was the last time a sitting judge had done that, and spoke about it. And he said that, that Trinamool Congress is wrong, spoke about the case in an interview. And he has been openly, I'm just saying that, do you think that a sitting judge should do that? Or you can join a party but post retirement?
You see, then our parliament or the Supreme Court should have taken courage to take action against him for removal and started proceedings, as per law, for his impeachment. Who stopped it? Why did not Supreme Court take courage to impeach him?
But sir, try to understand, we agree with you that the Supreme Court should have stepped in. But I also believe that the Chief Justice of the Calcutta High Court should also have stepped in, withdrawn judicial work from him. Because try to understand, here we are dealing with a judge who's gone rogue, who's talking to the media openly about a case which is before him. He is not even giving the petitioner a fair chance to put forward his case. What do we expect of him?
You see, I am not saying that action should not have been taken. I am saying that that courage of taking action is not there, either in Supreme Court or in Chief Justice or withdrawing work. But then, from how many judges you will withdraw work? Today we have many judges who are actually playing in the party politics.
Let's
It
listen
is
in.
not only Mr.
Okay.
Gangopadhyay.
Okay, I'll come to you, sir, in a bit. Let's listen to what TMC leader Kunal Ghosh has to say on this particular issue.
resigned जस्टिस अभिजीत गांगुली जो उनका डिसीजन है ये प्रूफ करता है कि हम लोग ऑल इंडिया तृणमूल कांग्रेस इतने दिन से जो एलिगेशन हम लोग उठा रहे थे वो सच था, क्योंकि आप अपनी चेयर में बैठ के आप पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड वे से आप पूरा ये जो ऑर्डर्स है, जो ऑब्जर्वेशंस है, आप ये तैयार किया थे। तो वो जो बोल रहा है अभी जो टीएमसी स्पोक्स पर्सन्स उनको मजबूर किया, लेकिन दिस इज ओनली टीएमसी स्पोक्स पर्सन्स जो लोग उनको सही तरीका से पहचाना, क्योंकि सीपीएम नहीं पहचान सकता, कांग्रेस नहीं पहचान सकता, तृणमूल बोला था वो भाजपा का आदमी है। तो एक्स जस्टिस रिटायर्ड जस्टिस अभिजीत गांगुली आज जिस तरह से अभिषेक जी को अटैक किया, पार्टी को अटैक किया, इससे साबित होता है वो पॉलिटिकली मोटिव।
I think, Ashok, this is going to be the dominant narrative from, today onwards, because this allegation has been leveled again by Abhishek Banerjee in the apex court, and, he went on to say that the Justice Ganguly is completely biased against them. You also, must have seen that he went to meet the ED officers when they were assaulted. I mean, I don't even recall anybody when the last time a judge had gone there to investigate a police officer who has been assaulted. I mean, it is there for the other sides to take action and all. There is a proper mechanism set.
Well, Brijesh, you are right. What Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay has done in the last few months is totally unbecoming of a sitting judge of any high court. It's totally unbecoming. Justice Dhingra knows better. He's been a judge of the Delhi High Court. He's been a judge of the trial court, and he's seen the institution at two levels. He knows how judges function. There is an element of bias. I agree with him. Judges come with their baggage of ideologies. But the question here is a big but. But nobody displays their bias in such an open way. And I said in the beginning that when you become a judge, you are expected to be even-handed when dealing with matters before you. You might have a prima facie opinion, you might have a personal opinion on a particular case, but as a judge, you cannot express it. Okay. You only speak through your judgments.
Okay. Justice Dhingra, do you feel that, with the kind of reactions it has generated and the kind of question mark it has raised on Justice Gangopadhyay's judgment or his behavior, do you feel that there should be a cooling off period, like it is being suggested to bureaucrats and other, army officers and all, that there should be a cooling off period before you can actually go on to join, say, either politics or take any other, position offered by the government?
You see, I agree with Mr. Ashok that a judge should speak through his judgments. All his bias he has to keep at bay in order to decide that, any case. He should not be so vocal in speaking in the open court. All these standards are unwritten standards which are to be followed by judge. But what I am saying that Mr. Gangopadhyay is not the only judge who has done so. There are many judges, and we have not been able to frame rules for this. We have not been able to take action against any judge, whether of trial court our Supreme Court who violates these principles. I know of a trial court judge who, while during the trial court case, he gave interview to TV in respect of the same very case. So, but he was not removed. So it is not, you see, it was Mr. S.M. Agarwal who, at the time of deciding a bride burning case, had given an interview to TV media on the same case. So it is not that, you see, this is, I am saying approving this behavior. What I am saying is that it is his decision how he wants to see his future and future his decision. So as far as you see, belonging to political parties concerned, having particular ideologies concerned, I have already stated that every judge has his ideology. He may be pro A, pro B, pro C. So there.
No, I completely agree with you, Justice Dhingra, that you know that the Supreme Court should also walk the talk as far as setting up high moral examples are concerned. I'm afraid we are running out of time, but thank you, Justice Dhingra, thank you, Ashok, for joining on this show, and keep on watching News9 Live.
We are trying a lot of experiments, innovations and ideas. We are trying a lot of experiments, innovations and ideas.
We came out with a new format in audio, which is audio series.
Listening for content-oriented company in India, which is a very unique proposition.
When we look at audio in general, we had music, which is like extremely old format, and then we had podcast.
A natural extension to Pocket FM is to move from Hindi to regional content. I think I'd love to see their FY24 numbers, which they claim will be close to 1,000 crores. I think there are talks of them to raise another $80 to $100 million of funding.